Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the sunny Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the pressure mounts in the narcissistic relationship. Think about that for a minute. Guys, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. Point being is this: the pressure in every narcissistic relationship, it mounts. It mounts up over time. And virtually from the minute you met the narcissist, perhaps you were love bombed or you entered that euphoric stage when everything was jubilation and happiness. Once that was over, believe me, the pressure started to mount. Actually, it began probably when you were in there also, because you were probably beginning to see some cracks in the armor, some red flags. You probably weren't paying attention to your instincts or trusting your intuition, because this relationship was too good to be true. And lo and behold, it certainly was too good to be true. Again, what I'm mentioning here is the pressure from the narcissistic relationship. It insidiously creeps up on you. Example, in the beginning, let's say that you struck up a friendship and things were going really well, and it seemed like this person was similar to you. They were kind, loving, compassionate, whatever adjectives you want to use. And then slowly, as you realized that you were doing things for them, perhaps giving them rides, perhaps picking them up, perhaps watching their dogs, perhaps watching their kids, perhaps taking phone calls late at night, perhaps listening to their issues, concerns, troubles, and just their life. When you needed help, perhaps you had some issues or some concerns and you wanted to bounce them off an individual, which turned out to be this alleged friend. They're nowhere to be found. Or they turn the conversation back about themselves, or they're yawning, or they're just giving you no insight at all. They're just saying like, okay, I got it. That's rough. Wow. They're not giving you any authenticity. Why? Because that individual is a narcissist and they don't want to give you what they can't have or they don't have. They can't give you what they don't have. Having said that, the pressure mounts in these relationships and eventually something gives. Either you figure out that this person is not benefiting you, they're not a good person, and you remove them slowly from your life, which is the suggestion if you can. Remember, your circle of friends and people that you love and trust should be those that are reciprocating the love and friendship back to you. In other words, it should be a two-way relationship. You benefit, they have your back, you have their back. That's it. But when you understand that there are many people that don't want and don't have your best interest at heart, i.e. using this example of the friendship, that's when you slowly need to remove them from your life. Now, I'm not suggesting write them a long text and explaining yourself to them how the relationship is not serving you. As a matter of fact, that's what the narcissist wants. They want you answering to them. They want you revealing yourself to them. They want you sharing what you're going through in your mind with them so they can weaponize it against you. That's what they do. So the path is to not let them inside of your mind, to not let them know what you're thinking, to slowly remove these people. Example, let's use that friendship. If it's a Friday night and they're trying to consume your energy and they're saying, hey, I just need a few minutes of your time, but you know that few minutes of your time is going to turn into 2, 3, 5 hours. You politely refuse. Sorry, I've got plans, can't do it. I've got something else going on, whatever. But you don't tell them what you're doing. You just remove yourself. And what will they do? They most likely will get the hint, hopefully, over time, and they will look for another sources of supply, another individual who will be their sounding board. But this can't be you any longer because you're on the channel, you're getting the wisdom. You're coupling your experience with the insight and the education in the community, and you're understanding that, in fact, you did have relationships that did not benefit you throughout your life. I'm certain of it. We all have had these. The difference between us on the channel and many other individuals is most likely you have come through the narcissistic abusive cycle. And now this is a superpower. You can't unsee what you've seen, which means you know that throughout the whole relationship, the pressure mounted. And I'll jump into that again in a minute. But in a healthy and or stable relationship, is the pressure going to mount? Of course it won't. Now, in a stable relationship, let's take the friendship example. You're going to give and take, and there are times that you can't give, and there are times that you can't be there for people. That's just the way it works, but that's not the norm. The norm is you are there for them more times than not, and more importantly, you care about this individual who you're thinking about. In the narcissistic relationship, it's quite the opposite. They just want to consume you. They want you being there on hold for them. In other words, pausing your life so you can put out their fires, or at least be the sounding board and be there for them, or so they can extract more of your resources from you, which does include your time, energy, money, effort, empathy, all the things I mentioned on the channel. This is what the narcissist wants. The pressure in the narcissistic relationship, it mounts to such a point that many times that's the culmination of the relationship, meaning that's perhaps when you wise up and you remove yourself, or perhaps you're discarded. Now you may say, well, Andrew, how would that happen if you're discarded? How would the pressure mount up? Very simple. It mounted up because you were giving to a fault. You were working for the narcissist and the relationship. And if you're being honest with yourself, you know that's what you did. Another part of that is you didn't know what narcissism was, and you were ignoring red flags and not trusting your intuition and instincts. And the narcissist saw your resources being depleted more and more each and every day. You couldn't give what you once gave. You couldn't put them high on the pedestal. Your bank account was running low. Your physical health was probably taking a hit. You lost your social circle, your friends, your network, maybe even family members. The narcissist saw all this. How did they see it? Because they did it to you, and they knew that they did it to you. They said, wow, this one, which was you, this one is so abundant. They have so much energy and a glow that I want for myself. Yes, that's a fact. That's what they saw. And when they saw that, they saw in you perhaps what you could not see in yourself. Or perhaps you were a Pollyanna, thinking that everything was just a Disney movie and you wore your rose-colored glasses. Who knows? I understand. I've been there. But the point is, when they realized that your resources were being depleted, and that you probably weren't going to get yourself back on track, meaning you probably weren't going to heal, or it would take a long time. That's many times when they discard you. It really is. They kick you when you're down. They throw you a curveball around the holidays or your birthday or special event, or when someone's giving birth or a special occasion in the family. Perhaps it's a death in the family. Who knows? That's when the narcissist usually inflicts the knockout blow, if you will. Now, for those of you on the channel, you know that the pressure mounted in the relationship each and every day, week, month, year. Why? Because think about this. Let's say it's a romantic relationship. Say you married the narcissist. Well, everything was unicorns and rainbows in the beginning, wasn't it? Of course it was. And then once the wedding ring was slipped on the finger, things changed. Now they may not have changed the very next day, but they changed slowly over time because the narcissist now locked you down, and they knew that you weren't going anywhere. They knew that you were in love with them when in fact they weren't in love with you. Think about that. And when that happened, the narcissist said, okay, now it's extraction time. Let's remove as much of the resources from this individual that we possibly can, that's what they're thinking. And over time, I will do so many things to them, and I will gaslight them. I will give them the silent treatment. I will baby my way through this relationship. However, behind the scenes, what will I be doing? I will be looking for the replacement, because I know that this individual, which was you, only has so much to give, only has so much money in the bank, so much time to give, things like that. They know it. They sized you up. They did their homework on you when they first met you. And the pressure was mounting each and every day. So after the euphoric / love bomb stage, what were you doing? You were working for the narcissist. You were trying to get that back again to the good old days. We know that those never really appear, do they? You get little glimmers or glimpses of them, little breadcrumbs of hope, but they don't last. They're fleeting moments, and they're meant to string you along. In other words, the future faking is well underway, and you're believing, again, that you're in a stable, healthy relationship, but you know something's wrong. However, every time you try and approach your significant other, they don't want to talk to you about it. They will say literally things like, I can't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Can we just move on? That was yesterday. Or they'll change the topic to something that totally disrupts the flow of the conversation you're trying to have. Narcissistic abuse, there are many, many thousands of layers to it. So many that a 15-minute video can't do it justice. But understand that the pressure was mounting in your relationship. Notice this, when the relationship ended, after you have healed, or after you're well on the healing path, what happened? That's right, your energy slowly returned, didn't it? It did. And your energy returned because there was no mounting pressure on you any longer. Now, when the relationship ended, did it hurt? Absolutely. Did you have to process things? 100%. Did you have to learn about narcissism? Unfortunately, yes. But now my hope is you're getting boundaries. You're not a people pleaser. You're saying no, and you're doing things that benefit you. But notice there's no more mounting pressure on you. There's no such thing as a agenda for you each and every day, meaning you have to wake up at a certain time. You have to run around doing dishes, sweeping, gardening, taking the kids, paying bills, paying the mortgage, acting like you're busy, doing all those things. Then when the narcissist comes home or you come home first, you have to do it all over again because there's no downtime in the narcissistic relationship. The narcissist knows this. They know that they want to keep you trapped and entrenched in the narcissistic fog, and they want to continue to devalue you. That's what they do. And honestly, they're very good at it. Until when? Until you get the education. That's when you say to yourself, wait, I know what this is. I see the signs. I see what happened. I don't need to be in this relationship. And as a matter of fact, let's say that you were discarded. That hurt, and you had to do a lot of soul searching and perhaps heal childhood wounds, etc. But looking back, Are you a better person for going through that relationship? Most likely you are. Most likely you're stronger. You have the education and you have the tools now. Did you want to go through that relationship? You probably wanted to go through it like during the love bomb stage, meaning you thought you hit the jackpot, or you thought that the person you were with was such a kind, loving individual. That part, fine, but that wasn't real. That wasn't authentic. That was a person trying to manipulate you, and they succeeded until they got that wedding ring on their finger, or until they started the business, or until you moved in with them, etc. That's how these things happen. But when you see it, you can't unsee it. So think about this. If you're in any relationship and there's mounting pressure to do something for another individual, number one, that's really not good. Number two is if that mounting pressure is a one-way relationship, meaning that person's not helping you out and you're catching anxiety, you're feeling not good, you're not feeling comfortable, really consider what you're doing for that person. Is that person benefiting you or not? Just, I ask that question. So understand that the mounting pressure in the narcissistic relationship, it's like a balloon. Imagine, if you will, there's a balloon, and every single day a drop of water goes in the balloon. Then the balloon is getting heavier and heavier, and every day another drop goes in, and every day another drop, and then eventually the balloon can only hold so much weight. Think about it. Think about a balloon at a child's birthday party. That balloon can only hold so much weight, and when it finally gets one more drop in there, what happens? It breaks. That's the ending of the narcissistic relationship. That's exactly what happens here. So guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon and evening and morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. Continue to focus on yourself. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to become the best version of yourself possible. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.